So I just took a bath. So you can see my hair still wet. That's because I just got home from watching Conjuring Last Rites, once again directed by Michael Chavez. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And it is the ninth and final installment in the Conjuring universe that has been running for like 12 years now, actually. And it stars Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, who once again portray Ed and Lorraine Warren, the famous paranormal investigators. And this time it focuses on their case of the Smurl family, the Smurl hauntings. So, just for a bit of context, just for a bit of background, yeah, I did grow up with the Conjuring franchise. I remember when Conjuring 1 came out, I was still very young to watch it in theaters, so I watched it when it was available, to rent at home, or yes, I watched it at home. And I grew up with it. I loved it. I love Conjuring 1, I love Conjuring 2. Now, when it comes to this universe as a whole, I'm not gonna lie, I truly believe there are only three good, albeit great movies in this universe, and that's Conjuring 1, Conjuring 2, and Annabelle Creation. In my opinion, those are the only three good movies in this universe. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Everything else, it's either mid or I just straight up did not like. Like Conjuring, Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. Not gonna lie, didn't like that one. Um, Curse of La Llorona, didn't like that one. The Nun 1, did not like that. The Nun 2, I'm gonna admit, I think it's better than The Nun 1. I think I'd put it above the other movies in this universe. Yeah, the other movies I just mentioned a while ago. I think it's entertaining. Yeah, uh, it's enjoyable. I think it's at least it's watchable. There are definitely elements in that movie that don't work, but it's a pretty entertaining movie. Annabelle 1, I did not like. I think there's one good sequence, and everything else is just very very lazy. Annabelle Creation, I like I said, but Annabelle Comes Home might just be my least favorite in the entirety of the Conjuring universe. I really did not like that one. So coming into Conjuring Last Rites, it's once again directed by Michael Chavez, who directed the third Conjuring, who directed The Curse of La Llorona, who directed The Nun 2. So you could say I had pretty low expectations coming into this. Um, But I'll say this: I enjoyed this one more than The Devil Made Me Do It. I did. I think, how could I say this? I found it more believable, I guess. I guess we'll use that word for now. I all you need to know is I liked it more than the third one. I liked it more than Curse of La Llorona. I think I like it more than The Nun 2. Maybe I think they're on the same level right now. But yeah. Now, Michael Chavez. When I heard that he was directing this one, like I said, couldn't help but have low expectations because of the previous movies he's directed in this universe. But I've come to the realization that I don't think it's Michael Chavez himself. Because I'm gonna admit, there are some pretty decent sequences in The Last Rites, in this movie, in Conjuring Last Rites. I think there are some very decent sequences. There are sequences where he pays homage to other horror movies, he pays homage to Kubrick, he even pays homage to James Wan in certain scenes, and to a degree, I think he does that pretty well. I think, like I said, when it comes to the scary parts or just the look of the movie itself, I think he does a decent job. I think there are some very, not really very, but there are some pretty intense sequences. Sure, like I said, I think when it comes to his direction, I like it, but at the same time, I don't, because I think he can make decent sequences. Like he proved that in this movie. There are some pretty intense ones, but at the same time, I don't like the direction he put the Conjuring universe in. But at the same time, I don't think it's him, because all of the movies he's directed in this universe, he didn't write. There were writers for the movies he's directed. He wasn't involved in the writing, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know. So I think I've come to the realization that it's not really him per se. I think it really is the screenplay. My problem with the other Conjuring movies apart from the three that I like, are the screenplay. I guess for Curse of La Llorona, I guess Michael Chavez's first film in this universe, that one I think I didn't like. But when it comes to The Conjuring Last Rites, you can see how he's developed as a filmmaker. You can clearly see it, and I enjoyed watching it. You know, but yeah, I think when it comes to The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, the third one, and The Conjuring Last Rites, is what I loved about Conjuring 1 and 2 is that's the thing about these Conjuring movies, these four Conjuring movies, is they market themselves as true stories, right? So when it came to The Conjuring 3 and when it came to Conjuring 3 and when it comes to this is it's like that idea in Inception where it's like that concept in Inception where once an idea is planted in your head, you can't really get it out. You like you're gonna be thinking of it even if it's just at the back of your head. It's just gonna be there. So the fact that it markets itself as a true story, that idea is gonna be in my head. So my problem with The Conjuring 3 and my problem with this one is it didn't feel believable. They do things that feel very fantastical, that feel very out of this world, to the point where I'm questioning, did that really happen? Like it's not just one thing, a lot of things where they really are taking a lot of liberties. So that's that suspension of disbelief to get invested in these movies. It's just gone when it comes to The Conjuring 3, especially with The Conjuring 3, and a little bit with The Conjuring Last Rites. So yeah, that's my problem with the screenplay. Like, sure, you can say with Conjuring 2 and 1, there are definitely sequences that didn't happen. Like that whole third act of Conjuring 2 probably never happened. It probably never did. But what I loved about James Wan is he was able to contain it. I think I don't know how to fully explain it, but he was able to contain it because you get so invested when it gets to that point. You get so caught up and just get lost in the movie. You know, you get to know these characters. You just get invested in the movie so much that, at least I did, at least for me, I got invested so much into the movie that I didn't even question reality at that point. Whereas Conjuring 3 and Conjuring 4, I was constantly questioning, this definitely didn't happen. This definitely didn't happen. But at the same time, they were probably taking a lot of liberties with the stories. And yeah, there's that, Yui. But I will say this about Last Rites. They definitely make more of an effort to with the character work for sure. Um, to a fault. I think a lot of people will definitely be divided with the direction this movie goes because, like I said, markets itself as a movie about the Smurls, about the Smurl haunting, but I'm not gonna lie, they're not a big part of the movie. I would even argue that their biggest on-screen presence is like the third act, and a lot of people might be divided on that. But I will say this: I did like some of the things, some of the character work with this movie, Conjuring Last Rites. In terms of, I like what they did with the Warrens to the point where the emotional scenes kind of do work. Like you do realize, oh, this is the final film in this franchise, and it's kind of bittersweet. And there are a lot of scenes with Judy, their daughter, and it kind of does focus on her a lot. And I think some of the sequences work, some of the sequences don't. I think some of the sequences kind of feel cheesy, a bit corny, and yeah. And going back to those fantastical elements, there is a moment in the third act where some I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna give away too many details. Where it was a bit corny. Not gonna lie, it almost felt like an action movie at that point, and yeah, I was like, okay. But one of my issues too with this movie is, like I said, with James Wan, just the simple scenes, like he was able to really maintain that atmosphere, that dread, that terror all throughout the movie, to the point where just a simple scene of exposition is terrifying. Like that scene in Conjuring 1 where they're explaining the background of the house. That's one of the most terrifying scenes in that movie for me. Like that that shit got me. You know what I mean? Or just when it comes to the characters, I think the best piece of character work in this universe is in The Conjuring 2. I think that's for me the most emotional, the most invested I was with the characters, with the movie. Just that simple scene, just that little, not really little, but that just that simple scene in Conjuring 2 where Ed sings Can't Help Falling in Love to the family in their house. That simple scene automatically got me invested with these characters. It automatically like wanted me, like got me rooting for them. Like it was a very earnest scene. It felt very organic. It didn't feel forced. That's my problem with that's a bit of my problem with Conjuring Last Rites is certain things felt forced. Certain scares felt forced. Certain emotional beats felt forced. Like I said, some things felt cheesy. Some things felt corny to the point where I was like, okay, chill. Whereas Conjuring 1, Conjuring 2, the bonding, the characters bonding, the characters getting to know each other, just the character work and the scares, they felt organic and it was very seamless. Whereas with Conjuring 3 and Conjuring 4, it felt like they were trying, where you realize, oh, this is just a movie. You know, there's that mindset where you wouldn't really believe any of the things happening in this movie. So there's that. But like I said, I think Michael Chavez, it's great to see how much he's developed as a filmmaker since Curse of La Llorona. I think with just the overall look of this movie, with certain homages, with his style, I think he's developed. I think he's made some pretty good. He made pretty good scenes in this movie. When it does come to the scary sequences in this movie for the jump scares or whatever, some of them work, some of them don't. There was one in particular that Luis and I were like, it's kind of cheap, it's kind of corny, it's kind of lame, it's kind of lazy. But there are ones that do work, and then there are the ones where I really am against. Michael Chavez tends to do it a lot, which I think is kind of which I think is one of his flaws, is the music with these jump scares. You can tell when some of the jump scares in this movie are gonna happen. Like you can tell the exact moment they're gonna happen. At least I did, because of the music. And then when the jump scares do happen, it's a loud sound and some music. Yeah, that just it doesn't work for me because I already know that it's gonna happen. But there are some that does work. There's one sequence in particular that I think that did pretty much get me. So there's that. Yeah, it's bittersweet to see Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson back, and it's bittersweet to see this universe ending because I did grow up with it, even though I only pretty much like three movies. I grew up with it, and it's one of the it was one of the defining horror movie franchises of the 2010s. It was. I think you can't deny that. It was pretty big, and I will say this, like I said, I like Last Rites more than the last Conjuring. I would put Last Rites above most of the movies in this universe. I think it does some things right, but at the same time it does some of the things I didn't like from The Conjuring 3. So there's that. Just go see the movie for yourself, make your own opinion. Don't listen to the haters. A lot of people are saying it's absolutely dog. It's absolutely terrible. Make your own opinion. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you like it, you like it. You never know. Just make your own opinion. Go watch the movie. Like I said, I watched this in a packed theater and it was fun. So there's that. Some good, some bad, but hey, I enjoyed the experience. A lot of fun, a lot of reactions from the audience. I don't think it's probably the. I don't think I can remember the last time I've been with an audience as interactive as the one I watched this movie with. It was very fun. People were screaming, people were laughing. It was fun. People were caught with the movie, were very much invested with the movie. So there's that. I had fun. I enjoyed it. There were definitely moments that I couldn't shake. But yeah, I'm definitely middle of the road. I'm gonna give Conjuring Last Rites a C plus. I had a fun time watching this movie. I think it was entertaining. I enjoyed it mainly because I watched this in a packed theater, a lot of people, and it was getting a lot of reactions from these people. People were screaming, people were laughing, and I think a lot of people were invested. So there's that. I had a fun time. I watched this with a friend, Luis, which you will meet in a vlog, very soon. Her name's Luis. I watched it with her, and she liked it. And so yeah, there's that. So there are definitely people out there who will like this movie. I think if you can get that mindset that this is a true story, I think if you can just put that at the back of your head and just remove it from your mind, or like just not think about it, you'll definitely enjoy this movie. There is some pretty decent sequences. There are some pretty good sequences. There are some pretty good scares. So yeah, there's that. Luis liked it. So actually, here's a mini review from Luis that does contain spoilers. It contains spoilers. So if you plan to watch the movie, click away. You've seen my grade. Click away. Click away. You've seen my grade. You don't need to watch this. But if you have seen the movie or you don't care about spoilers, here's Luis's review. But if you will watch the movie, come back to this review to see what Luis thought of it. So here you go. Here's Luis's review. Sup, chat? We just got out watching Conjuring. Balls closed. And my phone ran out of battery.
Suddenly.
Story time. Bro, my phone was 30%.
Parang 60.
Like 60 or something. Like I'm sure it was not 20. Kasi it would pop up. Let's say it was 30, whatever.
Okay.
And like that was charged before I got in, and I did not use it up until I received a text. And it suddenly died. It died.
Oh, shit.
It died. I thought it crashed. Suddenly it was low bat. In the like 40 minutes left in the movie.
We got haunted.
My phone's haunted. It's haunted now. It's haunted.
Ngayon,
Like crap.
kailangan niya na
And escalator's not working.
time check.
It's
Siyempre walang time kasi walang phone.
yes, but it's probably 12. I think it's 12.
Yeah.
It's 12 a.m.
He
And-
did not get to do his streak.
And yeah, all my streaks in TikTok ended. I'm sorry if you're watching this, my friends. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. My phone died. It's haunted. Wait, where did it go? There.
Okay, movie review.
Movie review?
It was nice actually. I liked it.
She liked it.
Fairly girl story time. Nung kumakain sila sa restaurant. Dito ba tayo?
Yeah.
Kumakain sila sa restaurant. Okay, ikaw na maghawa.
Oo.
Kumakain sila sa restaurant. Tapos biglang may kamay na nag-show up dun sa akin, Judy. Pucha, natakot ako. Like, yung puso ko. Alam mo yun, naramdaman ko. Tapos after that, I covered my eyes lang. Every time it was dark. Where are we going?
Yeah, she was basically covering her face for like half the movie.
Not half. Kapag madilim, tapos alam kong may jump scare.
Popcorn method ulit. So yeah, that's Luis's thoughts.
It was nice.
I will make my review when I get home. By the time you see this video, the review's probably up because yeah. So we'll see you, chat. This is the vlog.
TikTok said it was the movie's overrated, but it wasn't. It's actually nice.
She liked it. So there you go, chat. We're now gonna walk to Luis's.
The crime. Bye guys.
Bye.